Hey guys, welcome back to the 8th episode of Jatco's 5-minute bedtime stories. Today we'll be continuing Quidditch through the ages. And also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe now. Snidget Hunting was reprehensible in many ways. Every right wizard-minded must deplore the destruction of these peace-loving little birds in the name of sports. Moreover, Snidget Hunting, which was usually undertaken in broad daylight, led to more Muggle broomstick sightings than any other pursuit. The Wizard Council of their time, however, was unable to curb the sport's popularity. Indeed, it appears that the council itself was little wrong with it. We shall see. Snidget Hunting finally crossed paths with Quidditch in 1269 at the game attended by the Chief of Wizards, Council himself, Bargus Baggy. We know because of the eyewitness account set by Madame Monastery Ranbot of Kent to her sister Prudence in Aberdeen. According to Madame Ransos Baggy, brought a caged Snidget to the match and told the assembled players that he would award 150 galleons to the player who caught it during the course of the game. Madame Ronnie explains what happened next. The players rose up as one in the air, ignoring the quaffle and dodging the bludgers. Both keepers abandoned the goal baskets and joined the hunt. The poor little Snidget shot up and down the pitch, sneaking a means of escape, but wizards in the crowd forced it back with repelling spells. Well, Prue, you know how I am about Snidget hunting and what I get like when my temper goes. I ran onto the pitch and screaming, "Chief Braggy, this is not sports! Let this Snidget go free and let us watch the noble game of Quidditch, which we have all come to see. If you believe me, Prue." All the brute did was laugh and throw the empty bird cage at me. Well, I saw red, Prue. I really did. When I was a poor little Snidget, flew away my way. I did a summoning charm. You know how good my summoning charms are, Prue. Of course, it was easier for me to aim properly, not being mounted on a broomstick at the time. The little bird came zooming into my hands. I stuffed it down the front of my robes and ran like furry. Well, they did caught me, but not before I'd got out of the crowds and released the Snidget. Chief Braggy was very angry. At the moment, I thought I ended up horrid toad. Or worse, his lucky advertiser calmed him down. I was only fined 10 galleons for disrupting the game. Of course, I never had 10 galleons in my life, so that's the old home gone. I'll be coming to live with you shortly. Luckily, they didn't take the hippogriff. And I'll tell you this, Prue, Chief Braggy would have lost my vote if I had one. Your loving sister, Modesty. Madame Rambrand's brave action might have saved one Snidget, but she could not save them all. Chief Braggy's idea had forever changed the nature of Quidditch. Golden snitches were soon being released during a Quidditch match. One player on each team, the hunter of course, having the sole task of catching it. When the bird was killed, the game was over and the hunter's team was awarded an extra 150 points in memory of 150 galleons promised by Chief Braggy. The crowd undertook to keep the Snidget in the pitch by using the repelling spells mentioned by Madame Radont. By the middle of the following century, however, Golden Snitch's number had fallen so low that the Wizard Council, now headed by considerably more enlightened Elfra Clegg, made the Gold Snitch to a protected species, outlawing both its killing and its use in Quidditch games. The monastery ran in Snidget Reservation was founded in Somer as a substitute for the bird was eventually sought to enable the game of Quidditch to proceed. Invention of the golden snitch was credited to the wood wizard Bowman Wright of Gothric's Hollow. While Quidditch teams all over the country tried to find a bird substitute for the Snidget, Wright, who killed Mental Charmer, set himself for the task of creating a ball that mimicked the behavior of the flight patterns of the Snidget. He succeeded perfectly. It's clear from the many rolls of parchment he left behind his own death, now in his possession of a private collector, listing the orders that he had received from all over the country. The golden snitch, as Bowman called his invention, was a walnut-sized ball exactly the weight of the Snidget. Its silvering wings had a rotational joint like the Snidget's, enabling to change its direction with a lightning speed and precession of its living model. Unlike the Snidget, however, the Snitch had been bewitched to remain within the boundaries of the field. The introduction of the golden snitch may have been said to have finished the process begun 300 years before on Quidditch March. Quidditch had been truly born. Chapter 5 Anti-Muggle Precautions. In 1398, the wizard Zach Holmes set down the first full description of the game of Quidditch. He began to embrace the needs for anti-Muggle security. While playing the game, choose areas of deserted moorland far from Muggle habitations, and make sure you do that. And also check that you cannot be seen while you take off your brooms. Muggle repellent charms are useful if you are setting up a permanent pitch. It's advisable too to play at night. We've deduced the monks' excellent advice was not always followed from the fact that Wizard Council outlawed all Quidditch playing within 50 miles of town in 1362. Clearly, the population of the game was increasing rapidly, for the council found it necessary to impose a ban in 1368, making it illegal to play within 100 miles of town. In 1419, the council issued the famously word of decree that Quidditch should not be played anywhere near any place which have the slightest chance that a Muggle might be watching, or we'll see how well you can play whilst chained to the dungeon wall. As every school-age wizard knows that the fact we fly on broomsticks is our worst-kept secret, no Muggle illustration of a witch is complete without a broom, and however licorice these drawings are, they remind us that we're careless for too many centuries and surprised that broomstick and magic are inextricably linked to the Muggle mind. Adequate security measures were not enforced until the International Statute of Wizards statute sincerely in 1692 made every Minister of Magic direct responsible for the consequences of magical sports played within their territories. It subsequently led in Britain for the formation of the Department of Magical Games and Sports. Quidditch teams that followed the ministry guidelines were then forced to disband. The most famous incident that was the Balcony Bangers, a Scottish team renowned not only for the poor Quidditch skills but also for their post-party matches. After their 1814 match against the Appleby Arrows, the Bangers were not only allowed their bludgers to swim away into night, but also set out to catch a Hebrian Black for their team mascot. Ministry of Magic representatives hammered them as they were flying over in Hinters and Berkeley Bangers never played again. Nowadays, Quidditch teams do not play locally, but to travel to pitches we have been set up by the Department of Magical Games and Sports. Their accurate anti-muggle security is maintained, as Zach Harms so rightly suggested 600 years ago. Pitches are safe on deserted moors. Chapter 6. Changes in the Quidditch since the 4th century. Pitch